Yeah, what do you think social media is doing to the perception young girls have of their body, specifically maybe body dysmorphia? Or, I mean, I know maybe that's a long answer, but what have you seen, and maybe potentially what are you worried about for your own daughter?
Yeah, I mean, so as someone who has suffered with body dysmorphia and disordered eating, I know it's that sort of way of relating to my body. I know about that personally, right? And clinically, I see it in a lot of my young women, right? Where the more we are exposed to these unrealistic images and these unrealistic and curated and filtered images, the more distorted the view is that we have of ourselves. So there's definitely an impact, right? And there's good data on it that shows that we end up having like higher rates of distorted self view and experience of ourself the more that we're exposed to social media. And it happens for men too, right? I don't want to exclude and gender non-binary people, right? Like it happens across the board that the more that we're exposed to these curated and filtered images, just reinforcing that level of unrealistic expectations, there's a lot of suffering that comes there. So the majority of the young people that I work with, the majority of the people that I work with, we create some sort of like digital nutrition plan for them. And a lot of it involves cutting out social media. And even beyond body dysmorphia with social media specifically, especially things where like you can see how many people have seen your post. You can see what your friends are doing, or there's like soft blocks or whatever. They like unfollow you, and like there's just so many subtle ways to like cut down. There's so many subtle ways to cut you apart and to like cut apart the fabric of the relationships. Um, yeah, we're really trying to stay away from social media for my kids, for me, which is also a fine line because I'm going to do a lot of advertising for this on social media. Right? So it's like it's it's complicated, right?
It's very, very complicated and such a double-edged sword. But I do think the most important word that we're talking about here is intentionality. When we have some
Yeah,
sort of intentionality with how we use social media, it can be very, very beneficial. It really can
yeah,
be. Like for me, I like when I'm at my best, when I'm not always at my best. Obviously, I doom
mm,
scroll all the time. But when I'm at my
mm,
best, I'm on social media to look for interesting people to talk to. And I find them
mm,
everywhere.
mm,
And that is
mhm,
awesome. Like, oh, this person's doing this. They're talking about this. Wow, that's so fucking cool. Maybe I could talk to them. When I'm very intentional about it, it benefits me. I feel good when I get off my phone when I do that. Because I just like found like 18 people that are like changing the world and very few people
mm,
know about them. Great. That's awesome. When I'm not
mhm,
intentional, I'm like, cool. I mean, I'm not looking at like stuff that's like I don't know what bad is, but like maybe they're just like funny videos or whatever pops up. Like it's still
mhm,
a waste of my time, and so
mhm,
it's really hard to teach an adult to be intentional about their social media use, and so even harder for kids about it. So like we have to start implementing those ideas now, which you're doing, which is great. So then when they do get to of age where they have a little bit more, they feel like they have more responsibility over their lives. They have an idea of what to do with social media because it's only getting more. And I
yeah,
like you specifically how you never demonize social media
mm,
or the phone because you know it's not going away. There's no reason to do
mhm,
that. Doesn't
mhm,
make anyone more attracted to your ideas, which is awesome. You're saying we can do a little bit better because things are going to get more complicated because technology is not going away. Because smart people everywhere are trying to create the coolest shit, which is awesome, but it's
mhm.
also way too fast for our brains to conceptualize.